Hello and welcome to a special podcast episode 3 technically, but this one is kind of unplanned for. We're reacting to a bit of the new news that dropped today, regarding Victor Miller's lawsuit and all future DLC for Friday the 13th, the game, being dropped. With me here today, I have my dude. You guys recognize him. He's a fixture on the channel, and in my humble opinion, an F13 expert, Bullet Magnet 37. Bullet, how are you doing today, man?
Real good. How are you doing?
You know, not regarding the news today. I'm swell, buddy. Thanks for asking. But with that in mind, this news is just weighing heavy on me, dude. I was talking to you just before we started this podcast about how I fear it will negatively affect my channel, but mostly I'm just bummed as a fan. Take streaming away, take the channel away. Just as someone who loves to play this game, I'm truly gutted, brother. And so for those of you guys who don't know, anyone who's not really savvy to this fact, today Wes Keltner, Friday the Game, tweeted that the lawsuit with Victor Miller, the original screenwriter of the first movie, the one that's been ongoing for years now, just upped the ante, and essentially all IPs regarding Friday the 13th, anything games, movies, has been halted until this legal matter has been resolved. And I kind of have a feeling for what it means for the game if it doesn't get resolved anytime soon. But Bullet, I want to hear your thoughts, man. I just dropped the news to you during my stream that just ended. But how do you feel about this, man? Just lay it on me.
I don't know how I feel yet, man. It's all still soaking in. Literally, I just woke up 5 minutes before I got into the game with you, and then it's like, blam, blindsided with this. It's like, what the hell? It hasn't even had time to really sink in yet.
Okay.
But, I mean, like a lot of everybody's already heard me say in the stream, there's a lot of factors going on here that, for one, 90% of it, none of us even know about. Because with things that are happening, there's got to be something. It can't be as cut and dry as Victor Miller signed a contract to write the first movie and not have any rights. Obviously, that there's got to be more to that, because this would have been shut down right from the get-go if it was that open and closed.
Fair. That is fair.
And also, when did he start these proceedings?
That's what I was going to bring up next. Mm-hmm.
Is this something that's just happened in the past couple years, or is this something that's been going on for 30 years? Well, see, that's another thing we don't know. I mean, it's got to be fairly recent, just for the simple fact of the amount of movies that were made, the amount of merchandising, all this stuff to do with Friday the 13th, and nothing's been said before. And, there's been multiple attorneys had their hands all over this, just from each individual movie. Why didn't any of them pick up on any of this stuff? There's something going on. I'm almost wondering if Gun Media and IllFonic ain't trolling us right now.
You think it could be just a really bad joke on their part? That was brought up earlier. But yeah, Bullet, since you brought up the matter, that is my next point, is you can feel any type of way you want about Victor Miller and the proceedings. That is your right. But my thing is, and I think King Michael brought it up earlier in the stream, is like, why now? During this Friday the 13th Renaissance, where we have this amazing game, all this content being added to it, a potential movie, well, I don't know now, but a potential movie happening in 2020, like why now? We literally, if that movie were to drop, that marked 40 years since the dude wrote the screenplay. Like, doesn't make any sense to me. If he had a true, in my opinion, legal claim to all this that we know and love, like why the wait? So with that put out on the table, Bullet, I want to know, because I value your opinion, if you had to take an educated guess as to how this is going to play out, what would that be?
Well, thinking logically, if I was Victor Miller and I won this case, there really wouldn't be much effect on any of the intellectual property, just for the simple fact that I'm going to make bank off of it. Okay. So as far as Friday the 13th, the game, why would I stop Gun Media and IllFonic from doing what they're doing? I'm going to make money off of that. So you know what? Go for it. On this vice versa, if Sean Cunningham wins it, I'm already giving them permission to do what they're doing, so I'm not going to stop them from doing it now. So I think as far as this game is concerned, there really ain't going to be much of an effect on the outcome, other than if Victor Miller wins, it might take longer to get the content out to us, just because of all the legal bullshit they're going to have to go through with new contracts with him and all that, and getting that all ironed out. Mm-hmm. But I think eventually we'll end up getting it all regardless.
So the best thing a Friday the 13th, the game fan can do, from my understanding, and I actually feel the exact same way, Bullet. I don't really have a point to counter that. But the best thing anyone who supports this game can do is keep playing it, keep it very much alive, because we don't know how long these proceedings are going to take, how long it's going to take to draft up these new contracts, because that's always a thing, especially, given this situation.
Just tranquilo, people. Tranquilo.
Yeah. After that point, who knows? Sky's the limit. But I will say, it does trouble me to see Wes, people like Slash and Cass, just kind of seem like they're completely despairing right now. Like, they're kind of like, when it comes to this game, kind of like my Rock. If that makes any sense, not to be too corny, but if I'm uncertain about anything, I kind of refer to their channel for news, or yourself for that matter. I mean, the fact that the Godfather himself, Wes Keltner, seems to be a little bummed, just kind of makes me worry, boy. I'm not.
Well, think about it this way, though, like we were talking about before we kicked this podcast off. You was talking about how you're worried about how this is going to affect your channel, and I was telling you, don't put all your eggs into one basket. Well, with Wes Keltner and them, they kind of have all their eggs in one basket. Yeah. So they have a legit reason to be possibly worried, because it could turn out bad for them. Mm-hmm. And, they've got all this time, money, and everything invested in it. And for, let's say Victor Miller does win it and he wants to be a frickin' dick and say, you know what? I don't want this stuff in a video game. So guess what? Gone.
That would be...
Again, chances of that are probably slim and frickin' none, just from the amount of money he'd make off of it. But it's always a possibility.
Yep. Wow.
And I imagine, Gun Media definitely knows more what's going on than what Bullet Magnet 37 and what Collie Dolly 1231 know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
because they have the legal backing with everything too, From saying, why didn't their lawyers pick up on any of this?
Yeah.
Why hasn't, when Paramount sold over to New Line for the Friday 13th franchise, why didn't New Line's attorneys see any of this? Why didn't Paramount's attorneys, plan for any of this?
Yeah.
Look at all the crap. Look at all the crap that went through just for Freddy versus Jason. All the legalities on that, and none of this was brought up as a concern. And that was over almost 20 years ago when that movie came out.
Yeah.
So is there a statute on, has Victor Miller missed the boat?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. Like you just stated, everyone involved, whether in the lawsuit or with developing the game, obviously know more than we do. It's kind of hard to determine from this side, just being a fan. But, since we are on the topic, this is kind of today's podcast. I want to know, Bullet, do you think this should affect, because this was brought up multiple times during the stream, do you think it should affect things like maybe them dropping features that aren't necessarily licensed? Like the pajama pack, I don't see why that wouldn't be dropped. That has nothing to do with the movies. I mean, I don't even know if we even see many counselors in pajamas throughout the film series. stuff like that, or like a customizable Jason option. Do you feel like we would still be getting that, or do you feel like the devs are just going to be afraid to step in any which way and like kind of just remain?
I think they're just gonna cover their bases and just put everything on hold, which would be the smartest thing for them to do. Granted, there's going to be some backlash from the fans, but again, understand where they're at. Anything they do now could put them into a legal action.
Yeah, their hands are tied. It sucks.
You know, let's say they do come out next week and say, okay, this is all the DLC that we have prepared. We're just going to drop it now, and then whatever happens, happens. Which, honestly, I don't see where they would get into much issue with it. But, you know, again, I'm not an attorney. I don't know. But, wow, yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Do those documents even still exist?
Yeah, you know?
Yeah,
it has been 4 decades.
That was almost 40 years. Yeah, that's been almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're smart, there's record of it somewhere. You know, and granted, no court is going to take just the documents from one side, especially on a two-sided deal. So they're going to want to see the documentation from both parties.
Yeah. Hey, Bull, let me ask you this, because technically, if we want to nitpick here and split hairs, because that's essentially what a lot of, you know, the practice of law is, you know, it's really fucking technical, hence it being law. Jason X is in the game already. He's in Virtual Cabin. Do you think they could kind of... I'm being hopeful. I'm hanging on to any last hope I have, Bullet. But let me ask you this, because Jason X is technically in the game. Do you think they could use that as kind of an excuse to put him in? Maybe if they do reach out to Victor or anyone else involved in the lawsuit. Like, do you feel like...
that could be a loophole for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you feel like short of the lawsuit being resolved, Wes or the devs can reach out to whoever is part of this this case and maybe get the okay? Or do you feel like no matter what going forward, we're just gonna have to wait for this thing to play out?
Oh, it's gonna have to wait to play out now, because the way it looks from what all I've read and what everybody's saying, it sounds like literally that the franchise itself is just in limbo right now. You know, Sean Cunningham, as of right now, nobody has any say over it.
Yeah. So there goes
right now,
2020.
the judge is the only person that has any say. You know, the judge is the only person that has any say on anything right now.
Yeah.
So, and the judge ain't going to ring in on giving people permission to do stuff. So it's going to have to wait until there's a final outcome.
Okay.
And then you were looking at appeal processes. You know, is that what we're in now?
Oh,
you know, has this been going on for years, and has this already been settled, and this is just a part of an appeal process? We don't know.
I will say, Bullet.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
For as long as, you know, for the amount of time that it's been, and things are just coming out now, that would make sense that this is an appeal thing.
It could be, and you know, if you guys have ever, you know, been to court, hopefully, you know, not for anything too serious, or if you've ever seen the process play out, it is long, it's drawn out. You know, just to have your day in court could sometimes take a while. That's why, like, you hear of, I don't know, people getting arrested and say they don't have the money to get bailed out. They have to, like, wait and rot in jail, you know, anywhere from a month to months to, you know, it's not unheard of, you know, a year or two before they see that, like, you know, if you did a serious crime, you get arrested, there's no bail set on you. You could be in jail for like a couple of years before you even see your day in court. And so, you know, with that in mind, it's going to be a really slow process. I already have an idea of what this is, Bullet, but I want to hear from you. As a fan of this game and the franchise, in your opinion, what do you think is the best thing we should and could be doing right now?
Tranquilo.
Okay. Just one word. I love it.
Just calm your jets, people. There's no sense in getting upset, mad, and pissed off, because we have no idea what's going to be done. Like I said, Victor Miller winning could possibly be one of the best things to happen. He is, that undisputed. He is the creator of Jason. Jason came from his head. There's no disputing that whatsoever. That's well documented. So, who's to say if he didn't win? Holy crap! That could open up a whole new avenues for Friday the 13th.
Okay.
New movies, new characters, new backstories. Possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Or it could go the other way where he just wins it and says, okay, fuck everybody, and kills it.
Hopefully
That's a
not.
possibility.
Hopefully he does a decent
possibility,
thing.
But unlikely.
Yeah. If he apparently wants money.
Right. Common sense would tell anybody, if you think about it, this is all about money. Everything. I don't care what the situation is. Everything boils down to some bullshit money. Is what it's all about. It's all about that
dollar
piece of paper.
Fucking shit.
It's all about that piece of paper, and everybody wants to get as much of that paper as they possibly can. So either way that it turns out, I have a feeling that it's only going to be good for us as fans.
Just gotta have patience and faith. And I'm gonna piggyback off of what Bullet just said. I went live earlier today. Split decision. I kind of was, and I'm not proud of this, but it is just what it is. I was feeding off my own emotions when I heard the news. Went live just to bash Victor Miller and kind of vent with any subs who care to show up. And that's kind of worn off. I said that towards the end of the stream. I've kind of had a chance to a little bit more logically process the situation. And yes, I'm going to echo what Bullet just said. Remain calm. The best thing all of us could do, anyone who supports this game, anyone who supports the franchise, is keep playing, support your channels who do stream this game, support the devs, and keep the community alive. Because if, God forbid, this effectively kills the game because everyone leaves because there's no more new content, and say the legal battle is resolved, and say, I don't know, Victor Miller wins or whatever, the outcome is the game is given a go to use whatever IP, whatever it wants from this intellectual property. They're not going to be able to implement that if no one's playing the game, because they're going to eventually shut down the servers and there's going to be nothing to add it to, and they're not going to revive the game just to add a few pieces of DLC. So as fans, as a fan, speaking to whoever's listening to this, the best thing you can do is, like Bullet and I said, remain calm, keep supporting this game, keep playing it. I'm going to keep personally playing it no matter which way this goes until the day they shut off the servers. But just keep the faith and keep your support behind this game. Remember, it's not their fault. Wes is just as tore up about this as Bullet and myself and everyone else. And another thing too, it seems like the fuck Victor Miller hashtag is trending. I am perpetuating that as well. But remember, the guy is ultimately a person, and even though he might not be doing the coolest thing right now, just don't put any bad juju out for yourself. I was seeing a lot of people in the chat saying they're gonna fucking slit his throat and all this shit, and that's fine and dandy. Those are your genuine emotions. No one's discounting that. Trust me, I felt some of that myself, but I stopped myself from saying it only because you just don't want to put that out there for yourself. And ultimately, if this guy does win the legal battle, I'm not saying he would, but the fan backlash towards him is as bad as it is today. Until that point, the dude is liable to do anything, and like Bullet said, he could just pull the fucking plug the minute he wins this. That would be a terrible situation, but it would be his right to do it. So let's not give him any more of a reason. Let's not give him.
Just to reiterate what Collie was saying, what you were saying, keep playing the game.
Yep.
What's going to kill this game isn't going to be Victor Miller.
Yep.
It's not going to be Sean Cunningham. It's not going to be Gun Media. It's not going to be IllFonic. It is going to be us, the fans, the gamers. we are going to kill this game by not playing it.
Exactly.
Time has shown with the Friday the 13th franchise, the fans hold a hell of a lot more power than we realize we do.
Exactly.
Every Friday the 13th movie that has came out was because of the fans. They originally wanted to stop with part 4. They called it the final chapter for a reason. They killed Jason at the end of it. There was not supposed to be any more. That was supposed to be it, done. But there was so much back from the fans. We want not Jason, but they gave you what you wanted. And then it just breathed new life in. Then you got part 6, part 7. Part 8 was supposed to be the very last one. If you've watched like Crystal Lake Memories or His Name Was Jason or just any interviews with different filmmakers from the franchise, the guy that made part 8, his first question is, do I get to finally kill off Jason for good? And Paramount told him, yes, definitively, he will be dead. We are not making any more after this. And then look what happens.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason. The idea from Freddy versus Jason has been around since 1984. As soon as Freddy Krueger hit the screen, the idea was planted. Freddy versus Jason. So, New Line Cinemas steps in. Buys the franchise off of Paramount with the plans of making a Freddy versus Jason. They go through hundreds of writers, hundreds of different screenplays and everything. Can't come up with one. So, Sean Cunningham's like, well, we got to give the fans something because the fans want it. The fans want it. So they give us part 9. Granted, they gave us chicken shit hoping to make chicken salad out of it, which didn't happen. But we got Jason.
We did.
Then back to the fire with Freddy versus Jason. Still can't come up with the ideas for what they want to do with it. So, well, the fans are still going on. They can't get enough of Jason. So we get, again, another batch of chicken shit. Let's see if we can make some chicken salad. You get Jason X. Again, chicken shit is chicken shit. Then it's, again, Freddy versus Jason. It's still there. It's still in everybody's head. We want Freddy versus Jason. All kinds of legal battles are going on now because of Freddy versus Jason. Because, well, this person has the rights to this. This person's that. Finally it gets made. Everybody gets what they want. Then, frickin' 6 years later, what happens? Oh, we're rebooting the franchise. Why? Because the fans want it. My whole point in that whole rant and ramble, it all boils down to the fans. If you want this game to continue, we as fans have to continue playing it.
Exactly.
We can't just say, you know what, fuck all this bullshit, I'm done with this game, whatever. No.
Yeah.
The only way we win is if we keep going and our voices keep being heard.
Exactly. Don't pull...
That way, no matter what happens, our voices are out there. Victor Miller hears it loud and clear. Sean Cunningham hears it loud and clear. Whoever ends up owning this hears it loud and clear. We are the fans. This is what we want. You do this, you're going to make a lot of money because we are going to pay our hard-earned money to have this. This is, the fan, we hold the power, man. So just calm down, keep playing the game, let things plan out, because ultimately, what can we do to change the outcome anyway?
Exactly.
The legal system's going to do what the legal system's going to do regardless of what we say. But like I said, where our power lies is keeping that franchise alive regardless of the outcome.
Yeah. Don't pull a repeat of the last couple months, guys. You wouldn't believe from when the game first dropped to right before the big update, how few of my friends list was actually playing this game. You know, everyone, you know, we went through a little bit of a drought regarding content, and everyone jumped ship and went off to go play Fortnite. And that's fine, that's your choice and all. But if you really want this game to succeed and you want to see it through to the end, you want to make sure that we have the biggest chance of having any new content come around eventually. Not to beat a dead horse, but just play the fucking game. Just play. Keep it alive, and let's try to just meet Victor Miller or Sean S. Cunningham halfway. Because, like Bullet just, you know, told you guys rather eloquently, we ultimately have so much say and we don't even know it. Bullet, I want to thank you for discussing this with me for this podcast.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, brother, you know, anytime. Really quick, before we do sign off, though, do you have any final thoughts, any last things you want to say to either Miller, Wes, or anyone who happens to hear this?
Well, guys, sorry you're going through all this crap. Hopefully you guys can get everything hashed out and it only works out in our benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I doubt any of them are going to, you know, come across this, but, you know, I'll still put it out there. You know, Wes, all the devs, you guys seriously poured your heart and soul into making this game, and it's not gone unnoticed. And fans like myself and Bullet here will continue to support you, man, and fucking play the shit out of this until the day they shut down the servers. At least I can speak for myself in that regard. But don't despair. Anyone who's playing this game, who mains this game, who loves it as much as we do, do not despair. Friday the 13th streams aren't going anywhere on my channel. I'm still going to be playing it even off stream again until the servers are shut down. But this is not the end, guys. This is a setback. Knock on wood. Put that out there. Whatever it is you do, just try to keep that positive mindset, you know, close to you, because, like I said, I jumped the gun and I felt all these kinds of raw emotions when I heard the news. But now that it's worn off, I'm just kind of trying to think of what could be the most productive thing as a fan that I can do. And I want to thank one more time my dude Bullet here for talking with me, kind of like showing me some more reason to. He definitely said a lot of things that helped like kind of calm me down. And Bullet, as always, it's a pleasure having you in these podcasts. If anything else,
Thanks for having me.
Of course, brother, anytime. If anything else does develop with the situation, I would love to shoot a follow-up episode with you, Bullet.
Yeah, definitely.
But for the time being, guys, thank you for listening to us today. Thank you for Bullet again for being my guest for this episode 3 of our podcast series. And everyone watching, appreciate you. Make sure you keep playing F13, sub, tap that bell, and like the video if you haven't. Kali Dali.